Just Jones.
What's that stuff?
That's pretty true.
It was. And that's how I can differentiate now. Now, when I used to listen to them, I thought they were the most spiritual group out there. And I said, oh, they are so.
But the other thing about young people is they gravitate
I just know they
to
were
the
just
people
pop
who they feel
No, but
make
you-
sense to them.
Hurry up.
So young people, they gravitate to people who they think make sense to them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And so therefore to them, in their mind, if it's something that they feel it makes sense, not necessarily being something spiritual
Right.
or scripturally based,
Right.
then that's what they kind of go off of or base this off of. A plain example of that was where I work. I do work with a lot of people that are of homosexual orientation.
We talked about that last week.
And the thing of it was a young lady that was talking to one of the guys that is homosexual. She was talking to him about her young son. And her son is probably 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. And she was asking him questions because she felt that he was an expert on homosexuality as to what to look for in her son when it came to the possibility of him maybe having those types of feelings or expressing certain things. Now, I'm sitting up here listening to this and I'm like, God did not create a homosexual. But to them, he did.
Right. He did.
So to them, he did. So he went on to express how he felt when he was coming up. And told her what to look for in her son. If he's starting to express things like this, he's starting to express things like that. And I said, it's always deeper. That's not the whole thing. I said, it's always something deeper, and it's usually resulting from something that has happened to that person. He eventually said, yes, he had been molested by a family member. And so when they finally got to that, I said, that's the root right there. And so I said, but he didn't know it from that perspective, but yet he's telling them what he experienced. So to her, it made sense because he was in that lifestyle. But if I had stepped up and said, that's not the root of how that happens. I said, something has to infiltrate into that person to bring that about. And I said, then I understand it is a spiritual battle between what has happened to you versus not being the nature of what God has created you to be as a person. So the scripture, so when that's the battle that you're dealing with, then you could talk to him about, but I couldn't have that conversation because it wasn't me that she was talking to. It was him that she was talking to. So as I was listening more and more, then I said that is the root of how he came to be and felt that was the way that he was supposed to be. But as he continued to choose to go that was a choice. He continued to choose to live in that type of lifestyle because he would also express the fact that he did try to date women. So he did date women for a while. But then he chose to go back to that lifestyle.
Right.
Because he felt that that's how he was born. That was just the way his life was dealt to him. He was just born to be that way. And so as I'm sitting up there and I'm listening to this and I'm just thinking of everything spiritual I could have been saying to her in regards to that. But it wasn't my conversation. And so I was like, oh my God. He is just telling her just the horriblest, wrongest thing in regards to her son. But that's what she was a younger lady. And so that's why I said when it comes to people, if they think it makes sense to them, and if they know somebody that they feel that that's a question that they want to ask that may be part of what she has a question about, to them that makes sense because that's that person living that particular lifestyle or whatever it is that it is, but not understanding how that came to be, that was not God's creation to create a person to be a homosexual. I said, so in order we have to understand when it comes to young people, we have to see what it is that would spark them an interest, which it usually is music, to have a segue to start talking to them about the word and about God and about, you know, what we know about the Bible and things of that nature, and start shifting them away from just
That's what you said.
trying to say, it's all about music. Because as we know what music does, like you said, it's an emotional thing. It feeds a lot of our
No, my
emotions.
son's okay. And music it is. No, I'm just saying music. It is. But again, so our nutrients is God's word. She hit the nail on the point because I put it in. Was it James chapter 4 verses 8? Anybody know that? Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. And only God's word can do that, not the music.
That's
Right.
right.
That's it. And then I read, cleanse your hands, sinners, and purify your hearts, double-minded people.
Yeah.
What is double-minded people?
They're half in between doing something and not.
In other words, they try to please two people. They try to please God
Yep.
and themselves. And what happens, you have an inconsistent
That's right.
life. Okay? Good. So the worshiping heart needs nutrients. Last, it's funny, I walked in here and I saw these prayer reminders. The worshiping heart needs to exercise through prayer life. How many of us have one of these? Let me pass this up. This is our from Wednesday.
Oh.
Okay, Wednesday. You know, having personal prayer is important. But you know what's honored in Acts chapter 1? Corporate prayer. Praying. How often do we do it? If we didn't have a Wednesday night, how often do we come together and pray? Especially for the worship team, for the worship ministry here at Grace Baptist Church. I thought about that and I said, man, we don't do that. Acts chapter 1 verses 14 demonstrates the early church prayed together in the upper room. And then they all joined together constantly in prayer, along with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brothers. So how many people do you have prayer partners with? Do you have prayer partners? Does anybody?
Some, but not daily. It's not a daily thing.
It's good to do it by yourselves, but it's really encouraging Acts to pray with everyone on these many people as you can.
Monday through Friday.
Yes, I was going to mention it. Go ahead.
Every morning. And it wasn't easy. I get up at 5:30 every morning.
Yeah.
And I'm on the phone with Tommy Brown,
Yes.
Anthony Davis, Charles Ford, Roger Sims. Who else is on there?
My husband.
He's on there every morning. Ryan's on there every morning. And it's a commitment.
Yes.
Because when I was first invited, first of all, it sounded good.
So you know what time it is.
But then,
5:30 at the
and that's when it's like, But the other part of my brain goes, now listen, if they can do this, then you can do this.
Right.
So try it. And the first week was a killer. And that bed was fighting, but I made it every morning.
Wow.
And then I got encouraged because I did make it every morning. And I've done it for 2 days. Now it's 3-day. Hey. And now the second week popped in. Beat the alarm clock every day. I'm ready. I'm rolling. And then on Mondays, after we get out, we're praying. We're reading scripture. And then when we finish on Mondays, I'll see you guys at breakfast. Now it's over to IHOP. Now we got books. We're going through studies.
Wow.
And it kind of comes back to what Steve was talking about. Because we're sitting at IHOP. And there's just a few of us, 5 or 6 of us. And we're going through the study. But in the midst of the study, you look up. And you got all these eyes on you. and we get it almost every Monday. They'll walk to the table. We heard what you were doing. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
You know what? That's what's the name said that he seen y'all do it. That's how he what's his name? Corvell, remember when?
Corvell Weatherspoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he just
said-
happened to walk into Berkeley, that's all he was doing, and
He
he saw us
said
there.
they were impressed by these dudes meeting and praying. And he was like, but he didn't know, and he found out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So there are some benefits.
Wow.
and the entire staff
Mhm.
at IHOP, if something comes along and we're not there, oh my goodness, do we hear about it? We missed you guys, it was not the same when y'all weren't here, and they look for us early in the morning to step in, and they're our regular customers.